I have been just dying to clean up these beat up Ferragamos that I got in one of my most recent Thread Up DIY designer boxes. So today, as some of you have requested, I am going to share with you how I clean up certain items that I get in these rescue boxes from Thread Up that need a lot of TLC. I have a pretty big backlog of items I need to fix up. So if you guys like these videos, make sure to let me know in the comments after you've seen it, and we can continue to do these maybe on a weekly basis because I'm cleaning them up anyway. So might as well let you guys join in. So this is one of these shoes that I got in the box. You can see how worn the leather is and the color loss. And it's really significant here on the toes and on this outside edge. There's also somewhere here, I'm going to recolor this part, but I don't know, like it's torn, so I'm not sure how good I can get that part. I already did this one, so you can see the comparison between the two. You can see around the toe, the difference in the color. And I haven't even conditioned this one yet. I've just done the recoloring, and on the outside, you can see there the difference between this and this. So I am going to point the camera down here in just a second, and I will go over the products that I use, which I will link in the description. I buy pretty much all of them on Amazon. So if you want to know exactly what I'm using, I will have those down in the description. The other thing, and this is not going to take long, that we're going to clean up is I sent in a silk blouse to the Reselling, and they sent it back to me saying that the interior was stained. And I have such a bad habit of forgetting to turn the garment inside out and looking to see if there's any staining on the inside. And sure enough, there was. It's not terrible, but it is like deodorant stains in the armpit. So I cleaned up this other side, and then I stopped and I was like, I'm going to show you guys how I clean that up and the products that I use for that also. So I just wanted to show my face, give you a smile, show you what we're going to be working on today, and then I will point the camera down and we will work on it together. Okay, so let's get cleaning. This is the silk blouse that I'm going to be cleaning. Here is the stain that is just, I'm sure, from deodorant. I went ahead and did the other side. Looks like that, nice and clean. So typically on silk, if it's just a stain that I'm wiping out, I will use the water wipes, which you can get on Amazon. That's where I order them. And again, all the products that I'm using tonight, I will link below. I order them all on Amazon. So that's usually what I use on silk. Now, if it's a stain, like a pen stain or something else, then we have to do something a little bit different. Usually I'll try rubbing alcohol, something like that. So, but for this, it just needs a little wipe down. So I'm just going to, hopefully I don't move the camera too much while I'm cleaning, but I'm just going to use the water wipe to just kind of scrub both sides of this seam and then just let that dry. And I'm going to send it back into the Reselling, let them know that I cleaned it up. So just like that, and then we'll let that dry, and that should look good as new. So that is the silk blouse. Okay, now for the Ferragamos and for the recoloring. You can see here, this is the one that I already did, and this is the one that needs help. Okay, so the way that I do this is I use, and you can use any oil pastels. These are the ones that I use. I, again, ordered them on Amazon. I may at some point order a larger count than the 48 to get more colors, but this is the one that I started with, and so far it's had what I've needed. So this is what the inside of the tray looks like there. And so you're just going to pick the color that is the closest color match to the leather that you're trying to recolor. And I have already done the other one, so I know it's this one. And the way that I tested this is on the bottom here where it's torn up, I used 3 different blues and just did a little test on each one and decided which one was going to work better. And I haven't actually recolored this part yet. I kind of forgot about this part. So I need to go back and do that. But this leather is like torn, so there's nothing I can do about that part of it, but we'll clean it up as best we can. Okay, so I believe when I was doing it, I tested this color, which was the winner, this one, and then this top one. And again, I am not an expert. This is just what I have learned over time with cleaning things up. So make sure you spot test and that it works on your item, like in an inconspicuous spot before you do the whole thing. So I just am going to, in the faded areas, go in and I'm just going to color this in really nicely. And depending on the type of leather, you want to be careful on how hard down you're pushing. Take that from personal experience. Some leathers that are super soft, you have to be a little bit more careful. So, but these are pretty easy. Okay, so I've kind of colored in that side, and then we're gonna do some right here, which I can see has some damage to it. Then we're gonna go up here along the edging. And then I really just kind of go around and try to inspect the shoe or the bag, whatever it is, to see any areas that have color loss. For these, besides this outer edge here, it's really this ridge and the toe that need the most work. So I'm just going to go through and do this. And I certainly would have never learned about doing this if I didn't get all those designer boxes. But when you have such a high cost of goods and money sunk into these nice brands, it is worth it to try to figure out how to rehab them and make them usable for somebody new. Okay, so I'm just going to get all these spots filled in. And I do have, is it a Poochie purse? Oh my goodness, that thing needs so much recoloring. That's going to be like a major project. I just put it in a dust bag and put it away because I'm like, I'm not ready for that yet. It's going to have to be when I have some time. I have to do like section by section. It's pretty bad. Okay, let's see. The other one had some loss of color under the buckle. Let's check this one out. Oh, it's not too bad. There's a little bit, but it seems okay. And maybe a little bit here. Right here around the edge. Okay, I think that looks pretty good. Let's do one more glance. I'm going to do this little part right here. Okay, I feel like that we got all the spots. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to let that sit. I usually just let it sit for about 30 minutes, and then I will come back and we will clean off that extra dye, and the shoe should be good to go. Now that I've let the oils sit for a little while, I'm going to use a leather wipe to wipe off the excess stain or oil, whatever you want to call it, color. And this also revives, rejuvenates, and restores. But really, any leather cleaning wipe can do. This is the one that I use. Again, I order these off of Amazon. I've used other wipes before, but this has been my favorite, so that's what I use. And then I'm just going to go along the areas that I used the pastel, and don't be afraid to really wipe it down. You got to get all that extra stain off. See how it's coming off into, plus this will go through and kind of condition the rest of the leather and clean it up anyway. So I usually go all over it, even in the areas that I don't have the stain. Sometimes you have to really, like I said, you have to really get in there. But the oils from the pastels just seep into that leather and just add that extra color that you're missing. Okay, so I've gone through there. And see, like, I don't know if you guys can see that, but there's kind of a little scuff in the leather there. So I'll use some of the Doc Martens balm on that. It won't take it away, but it really helps when there's like a scuff on leather. Oh no, I didn't put any of the stain there. I'm gonna have to go back and do that one. I missed it. Okay. So just go all along the leather there. And we've got some here. And you can get kind of dirty, so you gotta keep an eye on your fingers. I always tell myself I'm gonna wear gloves while I do this, and then I never do. So, just a tip, if you don't wanna stain up your fingers too much, could wear gloves. All right, and then over here, just gonna make sure we get all that extra color off. Oh, and I see one other little scuff right there I didn't get also. So, and like on the other loafer, there was a spot that didn't, that I had to do twice. So that may happen too, where you have to go over it again, depending on the loss of color. So, and then this side, this is where I rubbed it in really deep. Right, I think that looks pretty good. Okay, so what do you guys think? That is the process that I go through to do the recoloring. I will go back and fix that up. I missed that part. And then there was this little scuff at the back that I missed also. So I'm gonna go back and do those. And then the only other thing I'm gonna do to this shoe before, because I'm gonna send these into the Real, is they're super kind of picky about the interior of the shoe. This has a little bit of staining here, and I, on this, am going to use the tub of towels to just scrub it out. That's usually what I use on insoles. So I'm going to use that on the inside here to see if that comes out. And then I'm going to do a little trim up on these strings that are a little bit loose. And that'll be it. I'll be sending these in and hopefully get a good price for them. So let me know what you guys think. And if you have any questions, don't hesitate to leave them in the comments. Thank you so much for joining me and watching. Make sure to give the video a thumbs up if you're enjoying it. And if you'd like more of these kind of rehab videos, let me know down in the comments. Make sure to subscribe. Bye, y'all.